welcome to Detroit at Black and White. This is our Saturday edition. I got Jim Nardoni.
Good morning. Happy to be here on Saturday. It's a beautiful day in Detroit, Michigan.
We have a guest co-host. Yes,
He's part of the family.
He's
part of the family.
You know that's an ugly one.
What's his name? Chief something or another?
Chief Wahoo.
Chiefs.
Wahoo, that's a fish.
Kenneth Powell. What's up, man?
The world is ours. That's all.
Okay.
The world is ours.
Where you go to high school at in Detroit?
Which high school?
Yeah.
I went to all the good high schools.
Okay.
I went to Kansas,
Okay.
Northwestern.
Okay. You got kicked out of?
Yeah, you know.
Okay.
Went to King.
Okay.
Crusade. So I got to have it. Always been a Crusade. City.
Okay.
My 3 high schools.
Okay.
So, never graduated. I got a GED. GED, dummy. Yeah.
That's okay.
GED.
Good morning, Janet. My friend
My
Janet
baby. Yes, sir.
from Victory Gym down in Wyandotte, Michigan. Good morning to everybody else that's tuning in. Good to see you all out there.
Okay.
With the
Well,
Bloody Mary up. That's right.
you know, the Democratic Party, you know, I was raised in the Democratic Party, but I am so pissed off with them because, you know, when they had an opportunity to make changes, they didn't do shit. When Obama was the president, they, you know, they did pass it, but they never went. They should have did everything that was on their list, and they didn't do it. Now we got an insane guy that they doing whatever they're gonna do, and the Democrats has a faction in their party. They call themselves progressive, but these assholes ain't progressive.
They're regressive.
Oh, hey, what I really want to say, I'm not going to say. You got here in Detroit, we got 2 fucking idiots that's Congress in Congress. One, Rashida Tlaib. She know when she laid this proposal on the table that you know, get out of Lebanon, get the troops out of Lebanon. How many U.S. troops is in Lebanon? I don't think that many.
Probably not. Couple thousand.
So she played these little shell games. You know, it's like tell me where the little ball at. And then we got Sri Canada. His claim to fame is, I came here with $20. I didn't have nothing. You a bullshit liar, Sri. And then he hangs out with the Prime Minister of India, who's a Muslim, not a Muslim, he's Hindu. And he's been blowing up mosques and everything else. And when he come here, they go get Sri. Sri is a Muslim. And I asked him at a meeting in the Porttown Business Association, why are you hanging out with this guy that's killing your brothers and sisters? I came here with $20. He couldn't answer. He could not answer and had people mad at me. You know what? So this is what we got. Democratic Party. We got a Senate candidate, Haley Stevens, who voted to honor Charlie Kirk, who is a real racist asshole. And it took, what, 1 month, 3 weeks for people to vote to honor him. And he never liked black people or people of color. But it took 120 years to pass an anti-lynching law. That is unfucking believable. And you know who blocked that forever? It was the Democratic Party, the Southern Democrats, who later became Dixiecrats, who later joined the Republican Party. But
Some of them.
but the level-headed Democrats in the party always said we need them, so they turn a blind eye. Haley Stevens say, "Oh, and he might have been that bad, but we got to stop the violence." Man, you know what, Haley, you fucked up. You fucked up. I can't tell anybody to vote for you. There's no question.
Well, let's start with Robert Byrd. I had a friend of ours on the show. I can't remember exactly who it was that said Robert Byrd was always out in the open. And you know what? I didn't dispute it at the time. Robert Byrd said he was in the KKK for 1 year. He was in the KKK from 1941 to 1948. So don't tell me he was out in the open. He's talking about 1 year. No, he was the exalted cyclops of his little thing. He was the organizer of that group of the KKK, right?
Yeah, and up until the 1960s, my grandfather was Republican, because the Republican Party, after Roosevelt screwed up the election of 1912, where they allowed Woodrow Wilson to get elected, who was former president of Princeton University, where Paul Robeson applied, couldn't get in because they didn't accept black folks. That was his law. He came in and got elected president. The first thing he did was purge all the black employees that worked for the government out. And black people, like my grandfather and all that, they supported Republicans because Republicans voted. Now,
What did Tony Young say?
whoever, he didn't care what flag they flew, and that's why he was a socialist. That's why he sympathized with the communists. That's why he sympathized with anybody who supported black civil rights. And Jesse Owens ran and won for democracy against the Nazis. And when they came home, Roosevelt, he welcomed the Olympic team except the black athletes. He said, "Cause I got an election and I need the Southern vote." Unreal. Dory Miller, a cook, shot down 3 planes. He got the Navy Cross. But John Dingell, daddy, who was a congressman, and there was a senator from New York, went to Roosevelt and said, "Y'all need to we fight for democracy. Why don't you give this black cook the Medal of Honor?" Well, Roosevelt said, "Well, where's he from?" They said, "He's from Texas." So he asked the 2 senators from Texas, "Do you agree?" They said, "No, you can't give no word, a Medal of Honor." I'm like, man, this is just unbelievable. The Democratic Party, the only person that shook Jesse Owens' hand was F. Landon, the governor of Kansas. Yeah, and they paid him $10,000 to campaign, and he had to lie and say somebody threw a paper bag in a parade and gave him $10,000. They paid him. Yeah, they paid him. So, Democratic Party. It ain't the Democratic Party of today, but some of the shit that they do, it mirrors the Democratic Party of old. 120 damn years to pass an anti-lynching law, and there's thousands of black people lynched. Go ahead, Kessler.
Hello, black and white. We're here in the house. Love you.
Mr. Kenneth Powell is with us today, and you're all welcome to join us
closer
too.
to this mic.
Can I talk to our viewers?
Yes, you
before?
can.
We don't like to leave out our friends out there. It's Kenneth Reed.
Let's get
You know, our other
one
one of our other friends that comes down here occasionally to McShane's, a good friend of the show, Karen C. Good morning to you, Janet Overall. Good to see you, Janet. And Karen says hello to you too. Thank you for sharing. Go Adolf, go, Karen Winston says. Les has more proof that politicians are selected, not elected. That's a great point, Les. Jill Sheridan back in McShane's. We're holding you to the fall, Jill. You said you were coming to see us, so we are here, and we'll wait for you to get here in the fall on your visit. Derek Henry. Good morning, Derek Henry. Karen says, shout out to Lady T. Black people that endured slavery and early Jim Crow were staunch Republicans, Les says. And there's our friend Deborah Harris. Good to see you, Deborah Harris.
We got lots.
Well, you know what? Listen, the Republican Party was founded in Jackson, Michigan in 1858, you know, because the Whig Party had died out, the Know Nothing Party had died out, and, you know, they came, it was an anti-slavery party. Now, I watched a documentary not too long ago on George Washington, and not once did they mention slavery, not once did they mention Black soldiers, not once. You know, it's like you get rid of shit, and you think you erase history, but you can't erase history when people know about it. The Democratic Party, and you know, and the Republicans, these Republicans today said, if it wasn't for the Republicans, you wouldn't have voting rights, you wouldn't have this. Not that. Listen, that's not the Republican. The Republican Party back then is a different Republican Party now. Ed Brooks, in 1961, got elected Attorney General of Massachusetts. He was a black guy, and then he got elected to the Senate. You know, as a Republican. You know, but after Lyndon Johnson election in '64, where it was a landslide, all the senators from Mississippi, South Carolina, they all switched parties and turned the Republican Party into a party of, and I look at it and I say, I am sad. I get sad when you see Tommy Tuberville, who made millions of dollars coaching black kids, and he get in there and he just said, you know, black folks, you know, we got to take care of them like we kids.
Come on, Ken.
Jump in. Ken. Come on.
What's on your mind? What do you think? Because I have a question for you guys later, but we want to hear from you.
This 5-hour show we're about to have, I don't want to take it over.
Take it over.
We got knowledge right here, though.
Come on, talk.
Everybody that's on this board, Stephanie Jackson, the Wayla Boys, Karen C. Winston, Greg Jordan, Train 05. Good morning.
Let me ask you this question. What do you think of the new mayor?
Our new mayor, I love him. Beautiful, my lovely, beautiful mayor, who I despise her father. Yeah. That's my opinion. That's why we're in black and white. He's told.
You don't even have to say that's your opinion. That is your opinion.
Exactly.
You don't even have to describe
what you don't like
opinion.
about her dad? Come on. Talk. Come on.
Bring
Her
one.
daddy. Pastor.
Okay.
Me and Miko Williams, we fought. That's right. We fought. I said I wasn't gonna cry. Me and Miko, the gay brother, he was out here fighting to bring our city back. And our black people stopping us, saying we wrong. It ain't wrong. We are here. We Indians. We are here. We gonna do this. We here.
Okay.
Let's go to Les Little. Good morning, Les Little. Thank you for joining us this morning. We're glad to see you. What's on your mind?
Yeah, good morning, Adolph, Jim, and Kenneth.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Yes, sir.
Adolph, you throwing it out there today, brother, as always. I don't know, if we got a little history together, we go back all the way to the Sambo Awards banquet.
Sambo Award.
Yes,
I
sir.
remember.
Yeah,
Agnes Hitchcock. That's my
that's
mom.
right.
That's right.
That was part of the Call 'em Out group. I was co-director of Call 'em Out at that time, and we was giving a lot of politicians hell, which a lot of the people are not doing right now. We don't hold our officials accountable at all. We just let them get away with saying and doing anything, and that's the problem right there. I know it's hard to pinpoint which party is screwing us more, Democratic or Republican. But if you're supposed to be my friend, you're supposed to be protecting me as a Democratic Party. But it don't seem that you are protecting me.
Well, you know what?
Jim?
Go ahead.
What?
What I was going to say is that Haley Stevens, when Granholm and Stabenow come out and say they support Haley Stevens, and I say she the same shit. She freezer burn. They'll have her in the freezer. Have you ever tried to eat you had a steak and you couldn't eat it all, so you wrap it up and put it in the freezer. But then you forget about it. 8 months later, you see the steak. You can eat it, but it gonna taste like shit. This is what we got in Haley Stevens. She freezer burned. You know what? If Stabenow really wanted to support her, she would have just stepped down, cut a deal with the governor. They would have appointed Haley Stevens, but they didn't. They created chaos in the Democratic Party because you wouldn't have Abdul LCI and you wouldn't have all these people running. And because if they did the right thing, again, the Democrats would have just had Haley Stevens as the incumbent senator. So, but they didn't do it. They did not do it. And here we are. Go ahead.
I think when Sheila says bring it back, I think Les, she's talking about the conflict. I think she's talking about challenging politicians. Why on the right is there more? I think people call out the right. We need to call out all of them. And I think that was your point, as Ms. Sheila says. But I have a question for everybody, including all our viewers. Good morning, Timothy. What do we think about South Carolina this week where the Asian man got found not guilty? I don't know that much.
Let's just tell you something. He shot a young teenager in the back.
Yeah.
He said he stole some water that he didn't pay, and they looked at the camera, and he didn't. That boy didn't steal shit. That's and right. You know what? That's right. But that's the folks down there. You know that. So if it happened here, and the jury found a person not guilty, they would say, "Oh, they need to change the way they the system and all this shit." Now, I didn't even, when I read that, I said I moved on because you know what? It
infuriating.
Yeah, this fucker came here from Vietnam, and the first thing he did was, the enemy. They're the enemy.
Who's a good guy?
And the first
Well,
thing.
Adolph, it's never any consequences for this behavior. George Zimmerman should never be walking around in this. I don't think he'd be walking around Detroit. What do you think? I don't think he'll be after killing Trayvon Martin.
So JRW7TF, I think I got you all in there, Jay. It's not hard to pinpoint which party is screwing us more or less little. At least the Dems aren't trying to take away voting rights. Stop with the whataboutism. So do you want to respond to that, Les?
Yeah, well, see, we in this position because we had no Democrats with backbone in our community. We have been supporting the Democratic Party. Well, I've been away from the Democratic Party since the 80s. So I seen if they weren't supporting me, I'm not supporting them. See, that's what we do. We so loyalist to people that's not supporting us. We should be taking a more hard line.
Well, the
But we
last
don't.
time we sent a message to the Democrats when Coleman Young in the 70s say, fuck the Democratic a ticket. They were running for governor. He said, I'm going with Milligan. Milligan, the first person I ever voted for governor was Milligan. You know, Milligan got a hell of a lot of votes out of Detroit because he partnered with the mayor, and the mayor supported him until he left office. You know, because Mayor and McNamara fell out because McNamara said he's the same silly ass Democrat that they want your vote, they go campaign, they don't spend no campaign money in the community. They don't hire any PR people, none of this shit in the community. And I remember when Granholm, I just do the same shit, and they had me on off the record in Lansing, where Tim Scooby said, "Oh, you know," had all these journalists. They said, "Why you mad at Granholm because you didn't get a contract?" I say, "Hell yeah, we never get a contract, but they want us to do the heavy lifting." I say, this a chick gets in Kobo, and she say, "All my Negroes stand up from the Detroit." I said, "That's like a slave master." And they stood up. I said, "This bitch is out of her mind." But guess what? Her campaign started hiring everybody that of color, except who? Me. But I didn't care because I didn't care. All I do is I made a difference.
We're going to take a quick break here and get back. Thank you, Jay, for your comments. Dwayla, we'll get to your comments. Let's take a break.
Hi, I'm Eric Sabri, your Wayne County Treasurer. Are you living in the home of a deceased family member and you're facing property tax foreclosure, or maybe you know someone who's in the same situation? The probate process may be helpful to you. If you file a probate petition and notify our office, the foreclosure proceedings will be halted during the probate process. We have several nonprofit partners who have free attorneys who can assist you. Contact our office, 313-224-5990, or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com. Don't lose your family property. Some of these properties have been in the family for 4 or 5 generations. Contact us now. We're here to help.
Go ahead, John.
I want to touch on our couple comments, but get down to McShane's, right? 20% discount. We're in here today. There's a lot of people that coming and going, but you know they support our show, and we're grateful for that. Bob Roberts has been asked. You know, he basically says whatever you guys need, and he's a friend of the show.
I told him he needs a set. Go ahead.
So Deborah Harris, 4120. I don't see my comment on the team takeover. I'll try saying it again.
Well, we got somebody that's coming on, Reverend Rideout. We're gonna talk about the team takeover.
Boot camp for channeling pent-up teenage energy, a program to scare them straight and set up in the Privland or Mound Road in Detroit. Does that?
No, boot camp, and I went to boot camp. Well, I went to the Marine Corps. You you got to be ready to go to boot camp, and because some of these kids,
Children.
they don't want to go to boot camp. They rather, go and do some hard time, and that's crazy. Because if I had an issue and they say boot camp or go to jail, I'm going to boot camp, and that's what they used to do. In the boot camp, they were talking about you got to join the military, go into the Army or the Marine Corps. And I met a lot of folks that said, man, I got in trouble. And the judge said, I don't want to send you to jail, but I'll send you to the Army. And that's just the way it is.
And JRW7TF says, by the way, I think Ken is acting drunk. I don't know about that. I think he just started, Jay.
No, I just saw a commercial. That's what I was laughing at.
I think he's excited to be part of the show. My parents and family members voted for Milliken, Janet overall. Leslie, it's not about common friends. I don't know if you can see the comment, Les, but common interest. Repubs have zero interest in supporting a black progressive agenda. Dwayla points out, it tells us that our lives aren't worth even a bottle of water. Thank you, Dwayla, for your comment. It's tragic. I had a question. I actually had two questions today of you guys and our guests out there. First is for Adolph specifically. I remember a story about a young man that didn't want to walk into the governor's office. Can you tell our friends about that?
I was in the fourth grade, and they used to have Michigan History Week when I was growing up. You learn for a whole week. You learn about
Did that teach real history include?
Yeah,
That's right.
Anyway, we took a trip to Lansing. George Romney was the governor. So we going in the governor's office, all these kids, and I wouldn't go in there. Teacher said, what's the problem? I said, he's a Republican, and my grandfather, he don't like George Romney. He smacked me over the head and said, go in there, he's the governor. I went in there. But then you know the difference between Democrats, Republicans, and I remember an older woman I grew up in Rollo Township. She was passing out literature for George Romney. And people wanted to jump on her because, they start the Democrats. And all she said was, I'm getting paid. I'm not voting for him, but I'm getting paid. It is about the money, and that's what it should be about. Some of these people, they spend millions of dollars now, millions, hundreds of millions for elections. And they're not bringing none of the money in to the community that they depend on to get elected. Yeah, I was pissed. I wasn't getting shit from the grandhome.
So here's my other question, right? We all know this. Our family hurts us more than anybody else, right? And whoever you support, whether it's a Democrat or Republican, usually whatever party that you're affiliated with, those are the people that hurt you because you expect their representation. So I have a question for everybody. Deborah, Jay, Janet, the other Jan, Dwayla, Timothy, Les, and this Les. How much Nazism is enough for the Democratic Party?
Listen, Democratic Party, they got everybody. They got white supremacists. They got liberals, they got progressives, socialists. They got everybody, same as the Republican Party. This guy from Maine,
Graham Plattner,
when he was in the military, he told you who he hung out with. He hung out with the white supremacists in the military. So that's why he got a Nazi emblem on him, tattoo. Yeah.
That's right.
But why? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So, and running against Susan Collins. Now, if I was in Maine, I had to vote. I'll vote for her. But I'm not in Maine.
So we talked about it a little bit on Wednesday, but he put this emblem, as you call it, an emblem tattoo on his body, right? That tells you who you are as a human being. And he's had 20 or 30 years to remove it, and he's got the cash to do it, right? He's a rich oyster farmer.
But we're not, that's who he is. Now, listen, the people of Pennsylvania elected John Fetterman. They already knew what he was. As lieutenant governor, he was crazy than a fuck. And they elected him anyway. And
He was a small town mayor, right?
What?
He was a mayor, right?
No, he was lieutenant governor.
Oh, he was. I thought he was.
Yes, and he comes from a millionaire family. So, yes, she's the only person I know can wear a hoodie and jogging pants and go to the Senate floor.
That's right. Be yourself.
He's a big Carhartt supporter.
But now the Democrats, they can't stand them. But you created it and you elected it. And shit.
Good morning, Derek Henry. Thank you for joining us today. Well, Deborah, I wasn't necessarily referring to boot camp. I was mostly referring to Scared Straight. I don't know if that just makes people comfortable.
You gotta overstand. That's all. Overstand. No, don't under nothing. Overstand. That's all you gotta do. My birthday, Thursday. I'm only 69 years. Good, 59 years young.
I was gonna say you don't look 69.
Yeah. Quit my job the next day. Tired of my boss. I ain't never got a boss. I'm my boss.
Are you married?
I'm married.
That
Don't
was
see
a
no
joke.
ring though.
Let me ask you this: why do you watch this show?
Married in Detroit. My brother. That's right.
He's strong today too, isn't he?
Yes,
He's strong.
he is.
He's strong today.
Well, that's right.
Well, but the bottom line is, and people say, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, and I say we shouldn't jump on people that say they're Republican unless we got. I worked with Jeffrey Feiger in '98 when he ran for governor. When he won the nomination, guess who supported? Republican, Democrat, Lyndon LaRoche folks, Libertarian. They all came under one umbrella.
That's
and
right.
he upset the Democrat preferred candidate, Larry On. But when it came to running against England, got his ass kicked because the UAW said we're not giving him any money. All of the groups that always supported Democratic candidates, they were scared the hell out of Feiger. And Feiger, he was a smart guy, but he didn't. I don't think he thought he was gonna win. He was just sending a message, and then we won.
I messed up. I was driving FedEx back then. When I was bagged up, I was new driving. Bang, his gate, it rang in my head like, ding. Oh my God, this man about to kill me and sue me. I will not have nothing the rest of my life. His mom came out. Ain't no words. None. No words. Why we fear? False evidence appearing real. No fear. Get your mind right, peoples. Overstand everything.
Back to Deborah Harris. Deborah, we're not dismissing your ideas. In fact, I'm sitting here appreciating your ideas. I was thinking back. I know what you're talking about, boot camp or Scared Straight for. I was thinking all the way back to Rahway, New Jersey, when they tried that program there where they brought the kids into prison. We are not at all dismissing your ideas. Good ideas are any idea is a good idea to try and solve a problem. So.
But my personal opinion, I don't think boot camp does anything for these kids. I think some of these kids that they're arrested, running down Woodward or whatever, they should give them community service, picking up the trash, cleaning the city
I
up.
think that's Deborah's point. We need to build some responsibility into their lives. What do you think, Les?
Well, I know I'm not opposed to anybody choosing any parties, but I just said I'm against it because I've never seen the Democratic Party serve us. We supported Al Gore, but did he support us?
No,
You seen
no,
Jim Blanchard didn't even step inside of Detroit at all. And
no.
I just heard Adolf say that the support that Feiger didn't get, he could have been the governor, and they supported a tyrant like Engler, a guy who was a fascist who came in here and took away democracy from the citizens of Detroit. So what should I be supportive of a Democratic Party when they have not supported us?
But then look at this. England, he played the politics when they took over the schools, and he gave Democrats, Mike Duggan and Freeman Hendricks, the power over the contract, how to spend the money. When he told the folks in Highland Park, the school board, that you can't control the school board, and they had a community college, Highland Park Community College, which produced more nurses than anybody in Michigan at the time, that you got to have a separate board. You know what they told them? They said, no, we're not going to have a separate board. And I asked England, I saw him somewhere, I said, why y'all withholding the money for Highland Park Community College? He said, we got the money, we not being put. He said, they'd rather have it closed than to do what they need to do. He said, Wayne State, the Detroit Board of Education controlled the school system and Wayne State at one time. And in the 50s, 53, 54, the state told the school board, you got to create another board, control both of them. And they rather have it closed. And those were Democrats that sat there, and then they blame, England just came and whatever. When Michigan State stole the Detroit College of Law, Dennis Archer was the mayor. He went there. You know what he said? We don't have any land to build a new law school. All this land we got.
So a couple comments. Actually, we have three. Highland Park was a great college. It's shameful it closed. Janet Overall, thank you for your comment. Terry McCrim, we're glad you're with us today. There are over 45 to 55 million Black people in this country, and people are freaking out about 300 to 400 Black American teenagers gathering today. I think you should stick around, Terry, and I know you will. Our guest will give you a little more, maybe a little more insight on what he thinks is going on. Jay says, thank you for your comment, Jay, but I'm going to beat you up a little bit here. No matter how many tattoos Plattner had on his body, I don't care as long as Plattner supports my interest. Unfortunately, Susan Collins has proven. I get your point exactly, but here's Bernie Sanders, a guy that's, completely talking against, dictators, who sounds to me, Bernie Sanders to me sounds like he's a dictator. Right? He got in Plattner's camp, and he's supporting Graham Plattner, basically saying, I don't care that he has a tattoo. It doesn't matter to him. That's problematic for me. It almost seems dismissive. Well, he's my candidate. I'm not going to challenge him. And I have a problem with that. Les?
Yeah.
Well, listen, we joined by all the candidates.
Yeah. We're a Big Ten here, right? This is
Kevin Reed, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How's everybody doing today?
Good to see you.
Well, we fucking with the Democrats, and that don't make me a Republican.
Right, exactly.
I can't stand them, but I represented everybody. I represented the Green Party. I represented Republicans. I represented Democrats. But the bottom line is, we got, and I'm gonna repeat what Toby Young told me. He was a communist. He was a socialist. He was everybody. He said, I didn't care what flag they flew. If they were supporting the community and whatever, that's what I was. Okay, exactly. No question. Go ahead.
Adolph, one thing I remember from Mayor Young was that Chris and I went to the campaign fundraiser. That annual one that they had. Bubble. We were 14 years. We was 14 years old. You know how we got? We cut grass. That's right. And stuff like that throughout the neighborhoods that we live in to come up with the money to buy the tickets. The thing that impressed us about Mayor Young was that he had an undying love for all of it. He could have probably ran for United States Senator and probably more than likely. But he had an undying love for the people, the city, and the people. And that's what I love about that. Now, talking about the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Now, state party, you know, they have an office up there in the Old Park Notice. And I went in there once, and
that's who moved there. They stole that.
That's right.
Look at the convention.
Thieves. That's right.
Look at the convention. And it was fixed. Now, don't tell me that it wasn't. It was fixed. Whitmer's all part of that. Stabenow. And then they let the fucking Granholm come back. And she wanna. She's just a whiny ass, begging ass politician.
I remember her.
Oh, we're gonna blow you away. The next, and she blew the state away because she was full of shit. You know,
we used to call her Two Penny Jennings on the tech.
She was it looked like the wicked witch of the east, or the west, or the north, or the south. Yeah, my pretty, I'm gonna take care of Michigan. She took care of us.
Yeah, she sure did.
She went to sleep. Her and Kwame went to sleep, and Core America snuck out of the city.
That's right. That's right.
So
that's right.
Back to Jay for just a second.
Oh,
Jay,
goodness.
everybody's got them. You know, the Republican Party has them. They have us. Well, she's leaving now. There's a congresswoman, I can't think of her name, in Georgia, and there's one in South Carolina on the Republican side. So this isn't the point that we're trying to make clear today is we need to challenge people from all parties to represent the people that they were elected to represent. I don't care what party they're from.
But ain't it where you have people that don't even want, there's one seat, they got 9, so they want to get rid of the 10th seat and all this shit. And I'm like, damn, they're not even satisfied when they got it going. And the Democrats, I give credit to some of them, they say let's tit for tat. But if you can come here in Michigan, yeah, this is a weak ass Democratic Party. They got man. They gave away the House because listen, they wanted to. They was worse than what any white supremacist did when they redistrict all these seats, and a black person out of Detroit couldn't win any seats, and they put half of Highland Park and Hazel Park and all these places. Yes, it was like, who thought of that shit?
Matter of fact, my state part of her district is Pleasant Ridge. Atlanta Sky.
Yeah, that is unfucking believable. But yet they had to backtrack, and it's like you say. I think y'all lying when you say y'all was 14. I think y'all was 20. You said y'all 14.
Yeah.
Because you've been around for a long time. Well, this was I know. I was there.
We're going to take a break.
That's right.
Detroit in Black and White. We're happy that y'all joined us this morning. We're with Kenneth Powell and Kenneth Reed.
That's right.
This is the All Ken program, and all of you today. Let's take a break and last a little. Thank everybody for being part of the show.
Hi, I'm Eric Sabria, your Wayne County Treasurer. If you're living in the home of a deceased family member and you're facing property tax foreclosure, the probate process can be helpful to you. If you file a probate petition and notify our office, the foreclosure proceedings will be halted during the probate process. Contact us at 313-224-5990 or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com. We're here to help.
One quick comment, Terry McCrimmon. The one thing that Republican has is they have candidates that look like them. This Democratic Party doesn't look like me, so I know that they don't care about me or represent me or my interests. And that's exactly what we're talking about, Kenneth. We need to hold them accountable. Les is talking about it. Kenneth's talking about it. You know, have the people lost the fight because they feel like they're not getting anywhere?
Standing up, ain't lost nothing. You just got to find where you're supposed to be at. That's all you need to do.
But is the fight different than it was 20, 30 years ago? Is it social media? Is it people are lazy? What is it?
400 years ago. We still fight.
What is it? Go ahead.
Well, when you guys were on last night, you remember I texted.
Yeah.
So my concern is this. I'll tell you a story. Back in 2022, primary, it was that primary when Animal and all them guys.
Yeah.
We wound up in Shriek.
Right.
So here's my concern.
Well, I
See, I remember when I was person out when we was really out. In the weeks leading up to an election, what do we see on the streets on every week?
Yeah.
Notifying the communities that there's an upcoming election.
They don't do that.
That's right.
Right?
I stuck these grounds to that.
And that was the thing. You see sound cars, you see people on various campaigns,
Mobile billboard,
people on doors, talking to the voters.
That's right.
Now you do not see that. I went into I think it was the day after the election.
Reverend
In primary. Went into a paint store that had paint front and back, and I had on shirt with my I voted sticker. It was a young man in there, probably about 24, 25, something like that. He said, they elected day. I said, no, sir, yes. He said, if I'd have known, I would have voted.
That's what we're dealing with. We got
I can't believe it.
how you doing, man?
Great. Good morning. Good morning, Adolph and Alan, and to the guests.
Well, you know, me and you had a conversation the other day, and you said, and listen, I had to think about it, that these kids are coming down here to take over, that somebody is paying the leaders who organize this money. I said, you know what? That makes sense.
Our kids not baby go.
Why you think that?
Well, it has been talk and reports on the allegations of takeovers are supported by those who have sponsored and paid these youth to do this. Just like similar to what happened with other entities. When you look at how we had the hostile takeover downtown Detroit, and people were coming over from all other suburban areas. Most of the people were not even citizens of Detroit that came at that time. They were paid to cause rhetoric in our city and in our community, and they caused problems for our police department and certain others. But they were paid to do that. We found that out. And so likewise now, the talk and discussions are, the things are being said, the same thing, allegedly that someone is paying to organize these youth to cause this stuff in Detroit.
What do you do to stop this crazy shit? You know, you can't stop kids from coming downtown, and you know, but ain't shit downtown for them to do.
Free bus rides.
Well, one of the things, surely we can't alienate the kids from coming downtown Detroit, because of course that would be breaking one's constitutional rights. Then we don't want to feel like we are causing discrimination or such an injustice to make them feel that they can't peruse areas that we let suburbanites come and be around. And so,
what do they got to do? When I used to come downtown as a kid, you know, it stopped me from coming downtown. The police. But they used to have movie theaters. They had stuff for kids. But when I came down, we went to the movies, got out. Here come the big four, had us on the ground. We go around the corner. They had us on the ground. Another cop car.
That's right.
That's what stopped me.
That's
from
right.
You couldn't pay me to come downtown.
That's right.
that day has long gone, where we had the big four, the men in plain clothes that would ride four at a time, and they would break up wrongful or misbehaved groups. You know, and then to mention about what is there to do downtown? Well, because they have built up a lot of things, a lot of restaurants, a lot of things, events and stadiums.
They ain't got the money to come in some of these restaurants. They used to have all these festivals, the African World Festival, the Hold Down and stuff, and they moved them out of here. They moved them out.
Well, true. But Adolph, there are some restaurants, some business owners who have partnered with the city of Detroit to deal with and to allow the youth to come into their restaurants. And there are certain areas that's been designated to allow them to play games, to have some involvement, to get their attention, to do what they want to do to relax. There's some, not all. And then at the same time, yes, the reason why there's not a lot to do, because we had so many movie theaters downtown during your day and my time, you know, and you don't have the same thing anymore. And then also they have closed down all of the community centers. They've closed them all down. So they have
closed down all the shit. We got schools that they haven't opened the swimming pool up in years. And you know, and here we paying superintendent $500,000 a year to oversee the demise of the school system. He sent his kids to another school district. Hey, it's insane. It's insane. We got a city that got 2 Congress people. One is in love with the Gaza Strip. The other one's in love with himself. That's right. You know, and they don't represent nobody in this community, none whatsoever. If we had got a state senator who listen, of Asian descent, who the only reason a lot of people voted for, you know, she's cold. She married a black man. She had kids. I say, what did she do? You know, this is, and the few people that vote, this is who they vote for. Because people came out and vote, and they do the right thing. But then you got the would-be politicians that wants to, everybody, they jump in the race. It's 10 people in the race. You know, we get what we get. Now, you know, Reverend Rideout, you know, how do I get ordained so I can be preaching on something?
Well, I tell you, the way they dog and low rate preachers nowadays, I don't think you want to get ordained to be a preacher.
I want to start off as a bishop.
Right. So what about Jay? Excuse me, Jay. Teens are going to be teens. We've talked about that. They just want to get phone numbers, listen to good music. let out their youthful energy, just like we
Don't
did.
nobody
We
get no
shouldn't be so
phone.
tough on them. Just check for
black
drugs.
and white.
But here's the thing:
That's right.
we shouldn't be locking people up for loitering, Jay.
That's
I
right.
agree with you 100%.
No, I don't. I think so too. I think they need community work. Pick up the trash, cut the grass, whatever. We might have a union say that's our job.
But that's a control issue. That's a leadership issue. If you have kids loitering, you have to resolve that issue in the police
You
department.
don't put them in jail. We don't have the house of detention anymore. The whole right.
And Deborah saying 500 kids at a time. The community centers in my area are open and thriving. Janet overall. Hellman Community Center is an active pool. Thank you, Deborah Harris. So, Reverend,
Go ahead, Reverend Rideout.
Well, we have had discussions. Some of the leaders of Detroit, our police chief, our Wayne County sheriff, and some of the others, some of the city council. We've had some discussions regarding measures to bring some kind of resolve to how this thing is occurring over and over. Now they're putting out flyers, and the flyers are going viral on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and all kind of things. And now when the flyers come out, the chief of police is on top of it before they even get to do their arrangements and their quote unquote misbehavior protests. But again, no children, no one wakes up overnight and says, let's just team up and everybody just take over downtown Detroit without a call.
I have a question. Can I ask that Reverend a question? So I think what you're suggesting, and this is what I find, I guess, distasteful, if nothing else, is so what you're suggesting is that other people are exploiting these young people. So they're dealing with the police and the takeover, but on the other side, you're suggesting someone else is exploiting them? Is that right?
Well, I'm not suggesting anything. I'm telling you there are talks, just like there's conversation about everything else in the community. And as a human rights, civil rights fighter for justice, as an advocate, when we hear things and see things, we react to it. We better safe than sorry. You don't want to wait. You don't want to wait till something terrible happens and then you move. You want to start what you can now to create preventative measures to stop innocent kids from getting killed, adults from being jumped on, properties from being vandalized, and so we respond to what's reported to us. So we're not starting nothing. We're not creating gossip or a false narrative. That's not what we're doing. What we're doing is we're trying to help the mindset of the youth and the young people to do something different, try another angle, and I would pray that some of these adults would have common sense and godly moral so that they can teach them to do the right things instead of deterring them to do the wrong thing.
So I guess your point is, and maybe I'm wrong, your point is you think something's going on behind the scenes, that these kids are just not showing up, that information is being shared around the area, just like in the police department. It's basically intelligence.
Well, I remember when got killed out at Fairlane. John Mason from WJLB put a call out on the air for all the DPS students to show up at Fairlane for a protest. How many thousands came? they had thousands that came because these young kids. I tell you, if you do something positive, they will follow you. But you're right. Somebody saying, "Oh, it'd be great." They used to go and 20 of them, 30 of them go into a store and take everything. So we're hungry out here.
One thing is, this is not just a local problem. This is like a nation.
Adolph and gentlemen, my concern is, where are the billionaires, the millionaires, the people with money, the people with resources, the people with power that can sponsor some of these youth who feel like they're not inclusive, you know. And
Roger Penske and them did and Matty Maroon, they did
right.
What was the snow thing downtown?
Winter Black.
The Winter
Winter Black.
Guess what? Royal Oak stole it. You know, they work. It's like they like Arts, Eats, and Beats.
Yeah.
Started out in Pontiac.
Right.
Royal Oak stole it. You know, and every time somebody got something, they go and they say, "We got to have that." You know how much shit you got. You know, you stop.
Thank you, Layla. Thank you, Deborah. You know, grown folks neighborhood hangouts due to strict crackdowns, illegal after-hours clubs in the residential pockets. Adults in the 20s and 30s sometimes treat well-lit gas station lots as hangouts.
Well, anyway, Reverend Rideout, thank you, man.
Hey, Rideout, we back together. I got
You need to come join us here one day and maybe spend a little more time talking about it.
No
If you could, we'd be glad to.
Well, thank you. Thank all of you. It's a pleasure to be on the show. It's a pleasure to try and add to what we're doing.
And never give up hope is the answer, right, Reverend?
Kenneth Williams, thanks, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Kenneth Powell.
The kids is in the house. The kids in the house. That's right.
Okay, Teresa, thank you. Jim.
Mother Teresa, blessings, mommy, blessings.
No, I just wanted to say thank you to all our friends out there.
All the folks there.
Sorry we didn't have a 5-hour show like I said.
We can't have a 5-hour show.
Thank you all for bringing it out there today, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Les.
See you on Wednesday.